Alkorcel is a 5mm vinyl wrap door over MDF. Mohawk has developed a special aerosol to help repair this product. This cab color top coat is matched to all Alkorcel colors. It will not change color over time. It covers defects in 2 light coats, and the film levels to a smooth finish. It has excellent adhesion and passes the crosshatch test even without sanding before spraying. And if you use the special CAB blender, it will eliminate its spray line. This gives you the ability to spot spray and have it blend well. These are the products necessary to complete an Alkorcel repair. The products to prepare the defect are quick clean and cloth, safe release 2-inch tape, trimming tools, thin CA glue, aerosol activator, sandpaper 320, and a sanding block. To fill the defect, you'll need a burn-in knife and matching hard fill. Next, you'll level that hard fill with a leveling file, sandpaper, and a sanding block. Notice that we've added 1200 wet dry paper to this procedure. Finally, you're ready to hide the repair and make it permanent with the new Alkorcel aerosol top coat. Repairs are only allowed anywhere on the door back or the side of the door. The knife is hot enough to melt and distort the vinyl. Limit yourself from overworking the area while applying the hard fill. These are the repairs you'll be able to do. Light scratches in the material, light scratches through the material, heavier scratches through the material, and finally, major damage through the material. All loose Alkorcel material must be trimmed away. It cannot be glued down. The trim line needs to be passed where the material is bent. Trim on a slight angle away from the inside of the damage. It is better to have the damage tapered than to have it cut straight up and down. Make sure all loose pieces are removed. Since I have 4 damages on this rail, I'll be spraying the entire rail. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tape off the entire rail and tape it at the joints. By doing this, it's going to give me a very clean spray line. Keep the bottom part of the tape loose under the door. We'll use this as a tab to pull the tape from the joint between sprays. By doing this, we won't create a hard spray line. Sand the edges of the damage with 320 silver paper and a sanding block. Make sure there are no high spots on the edges of the damage. We'll do this for all 4 damages on this rail. Clean the sanding dust off the piece with quick clean and a clean cloth. It's important to remove the dust so that the remaining touch-up products have good adhesion. Apply thin CA glue to the exposed MDF. Wipe all the glue off the piece and activate the glue. This procedure will glue down the edges of the Alkorcel and provide a hard base for the fill. Now fill and level the damage with hard fill. Be careful not to move the hot knife through the material and work it too much, or it will melt and distort the Alkorcel material under the hard fill. Light, quick movement of the knife is what's needed here. Unlike a wood door, I'm barely touching my knife to the piece. Level a hard fill just as you would any other hard fill with the plastic file. Start with light pressure, and then as the fill gets flat, you're able to put increasing pressure on the leveling process. You'll do your final leveling with sandpaper. First with 320 silver paper, make sure you get all the defect entirely level. This is a step where you need to get the fill level. You can't have any bumps. The next step with 1200 paper is only to smooth these 320 ridges. I'll now use 1200p wet dry paper to remove those 320 scratch patterns. Use the paper dry and change the paper often on your sanding block. It's okay to use firm pressure to take out all the 320 scratches. Now that I've finished with all 4 damages, I'll do the entire rail so that everything has the same scratch pattern. Let me protect most of the door and then only spray that one rail with the Alkorcel aerosol. To achieve the correct color, make sure these aerosols are shaken well. First use of the day, shake the can vigorously for 1 minute after the ball breaks while changing the position of the can. Purge the spray tube and you're ready to spray. Spray your first light coat. As you can see, I'm not spraying it dark enough to cover the blue tape. Now, using those tabs we left loose on the bottom, we'll pull back the tape along the joint while the lacquer is still wet. This will prevent us from getting a hard spray line. Once the lacquer dries, replace the tape along the joints and spray another coat. This coat should be all you need to cover the filled damages. Again, while this coat is still wet, remove the tape from the joints. After removing the tape, I do notice a hard spray line on the bottom of the rail where I had the tape going across. I'll use no blush sprayed on a cloth and wiped across that edge to remove the hard spray line and blend the edge. The final result looks great. Now let's see what we can do with an edge damage. After I trimmed it flat and sanded the edges, I'll saturate it with thin CA glue, wipe the excess away, and activate the area. It's now ready to be filled with hard fill. We'll fill the top first, then turn the door on its side and fill the remainder. As you can see, I'm just using light pressure with the knife so that the vinyl is not distorted. I'll turn the door on its side and fill the remainder of the damage. Again, I will not overwork the hard fill. And now, just level the fill as though it were a normal edge. The top side first, then the side. And because there's a little curve on the edge, make sure that you level it as though you were leveling a curved edge. Keep the file touching both sides of the good vinyl. By doing this, the file will follow the curve perfectly. As you may have noticed, I have glue and a piece of blue cloth stuck to the side of the door. I'm going to use the bonder and wipe over that back and forth until I remove it. The debonder will soften the glue and remove the glue and the blue cloth without harming the vinyl. I'll do my final leveling of the edge with 320 silver paper. I'll make sure the entire edge is perfectly level. Remember, this is the step you need to get it level. Now that everything's leveled, I'll smooth out those 320 scratches with the 1200p wet dry paper. Again, remember to use it dry. I'm going to spot spray this edge. I'm going to first use the Alkorcel Silk Aerosol. Then I'll use the CAB blender to blend those spray lines. You should protect the rest of the part from overspray just to keep the spot spray neat and contained to a small area. Keep the can 12 to 14 inches away from the damage. Depress the tip completely and in short bursts. Spray a first light coat over the damage. Now you'll use the CAB blender flowout mat to blend the spray line. Spray around the entire spray line while the lacquer is still wet. Don't allow the lacquer to dry. Spray it while it's still wet. Also, make sure you remember to spray the side of the door. I'm going to spray the Alkorcel Silk Spray on the left side of the door without the blender so that you can see a difference. I'm sure you can see a difference on the left side of this style where I didn't use the blender versus the right side where I did use the blender. Good luck with these Alkorcel repairs.